Many of you have asked for more dinner ideas, so I thought we could do a week of dinners. We're gonna focus on easy, high-protein meals that are ready in less than 30 minutes. It's Monday today, and we're gonna make burrito bowls. First, we're gonna cook chicken in olive oil. Meanwhile, we also cook some rice. I season the chicken with salt and pepper and Tex-Mex spice mix. I haven't found an IBS-friendly version, so I make my own mix of paprika spice, ground cumin, chili flakes, and some oregano. And now I'm gonna let them cook while we prep some salsa and guacamole. Next, we're gonna make the salsa, so we need 2 finely diced tomatoes, then we also need 1 chopped chili, but at this point I'm gonna go check on the chicken and the rice. Then I add the chopped chili into the bowl with the tomatoes. Next to the salsa, we're gonna add a juice of half a lime, a pinch of salt, and a pinch of pepper, and chopped chives. If you don't have IBS, you can replace the chives with red onions. And you could of course add some garlic to this as well. But onions and garlic are my worst IBS triggers, so that's why I'm not using those. I'm also leaving out cilantro because Aaron hates it, but you could of course add that to the salsa. And here is the ready fresh salsa. At this point, the chicken and the rice should be cooked. Next, we're gonna make a super easy guacamole. This avocado looks horrible, and this is the only avocado I have, but I only need half an avocado, so maybe we can get something out of this. This is always the struggle when you buy avocados. They're either too ripe or they're hard as a rock. You can do. Well, it looks okay from the center, so maybe we can get a guacamole out of this. And next, we'll just mash the avocado. Now that we have mashed the avocado, we're gonna add juice of half a lime, a pinch of salt and pepper. Then I like to add a little bit of Greek yogurt to make it extra creamy. If you don't have IBS, you could add some garlic to this as well. Now we have all the ingredients ready here, so we can just build the bowls. And here is the ready burrito bowl. It's now Tuesday, and we're gonna make Korean beef bowls. First, we're gonna chop broccoli into smaller pieces. Next, we're gonna mix all the ingredients together for the sauce. I'm making 4 servings, so we're gonna eat the leftovers for lunch then tomorrow. First, we're gonna add 4 tablespoons of soy sauce. And 4 teaspoons of honey. And 2 teaspoons of sesame oil. And 1/4 1/4 teaspoon of ground ginger. Whoops, that's way too much. Oh no. That's good. And a pinch of pepper. And lastly, a pinch of chili flakes. And then we just stir to combine. Next, we're gonna cook some rice. Meanwhile, the rice is cooking, we're also gonna steam some broccoli. I don't have a steamer, so I'm just gonna add some water to the pan with the broccoli and cover it with a lid and let steam for about 8 minutes. Next, I add the sauce to the pan with the beef. And I let it simmer for a couple of minutes. At this point, the broccoli and the rice should also be ready. And here's the ready dinner. I added some chopped green onions on top. Super simple and so delicious. It's now Wednesday and today we're gonna make a Sheetpan dinner. I love Sheetpan meals because they're super easy to make. I have here some asparagus, 2 bell peppers, and 2 potatoes, and half a small zucchini. So first we're gonna chop the vegetables. The potatoes take the longest to cook, so I'm gonna chop them into pretty small pieces so they cook quicker. The bell peppers cook really fast, so that's why I leave them into bigger slices. Next, I'm gonna mix chicken thighs with some pesto, which gives it a lot of flavor. You can let the chicken marinate for about 30 minutes. This time I don't have time to wait for that long, so I'm just gonna let it marinate while we mix the vegetables with some olive oil and spices. First, I'm gonna drizzle some olive oil on top. Next, I add about 2 teaspoons of oregano. And 2 teaspoons of paprika spice. A pinch of chili flakes. A pinch of salt. And lastly, a pinch of pepper. And then we just toss. Now I'm just making a little bit of room for the chicken. And now we just bake it at 200 Celsius degrees, 390 in Fahrenheit for about 20 minutes. Then I like to add some grated Parmesan on top. here is the ready dinner. It's now Thursday and I'm gonna make halloumi pasta for dinner. We're making 4 servings, so we're gonna eat the leftovers for lunch tomorrow. So I'm using 1 full zucchini, then I would like to add 2 bell peppers, but we only have 1. And then 200 grams of halloumi. If you haven't tried halloumi before, it's a firm, pretty salty cheese that is cooked on a pan. But let's start by chopping the veggies. Then I'm gonna cook the halloumi on a pan with some olive oil. You want to cook them until they get some color. The ready halloumi looks like this. And then on the same pan with some olive oil, we're gonna cook the vegetables. Meanwhile, I also cook some lentil pasta in salty water. I like to use lentil pasta because it's high in protein and fiber. When the vegetables are almost cooked, I add some chopped green onions. If you don't have IBS, you can replace the green onions with garlic and onion. And now I add the halloumi back to the pan. And then I add some oregano and paprika spice and chili flakes, a pinch of pepper, and salt. And then we just stir. And then I add crushed tomatoes and a little bit of the pasta cooking water. And now I let it simmer for a few minutes. And at this point, I'm gonna drain the pasta. And then I add the pasta to the pan with the sauce. And here is the ready dinner. It's now Friday, and today we're gonna make the viral high-protein cottage cheese pizza. So we're gonna need a blender. I'm making 2 servings, so we're gonna need 4 eggs, 2 cups of high-protein cottage cheese, 2/3 cups of flour. I'm using gluten-free flour, and then some oregano. If you can eat garlic, you could also add some garlic powder. Next, we're gonna pour the mixture onto 2 baking pans lined with parchment paper and spread into a round shape. And next, we're gonna bake the crusts at 200 Celsius degrees, 390 in Fahrenheit for about 20 minutes, and then we're gonna add the toppings. Now I'm gonna add the toppings. First, I'm adding some pesto. And next, I'm adding some mozzarella. And lastly, some cherry tomatoes. And now Now it goes back into the oven for 5 minutes. We're gonna lower the temperature to 180 Celsius and 350 in Fahrenheit. And here is the ready pizza. I like to add some fresh basil on top. Just the crust alone contains over 40 grams of protein. Now we're gonna go eat our pizzas, but this was the last recipe of this video. I hope you enjoyed the new video format, and if you did, let me know in the comments. And if you want to see a different version of this type of video with like lunch or breakfast ideas, please let me know. I'll add all the written recipes to the description box as always. If you're looking for more healthy recipes, check out my ebooks. I'll add the link down below. I hope you tried the recipes. Enjoy!